If you only had one exercise to build your entire upper body, this might be it. High-rep dips build a fundamentally different kind of physique. And if you look at people who train this way, you'll notice it instantly. Fuller chest, thicker arms, and that dense, filled-out look. And it's not just about doing more reps. High-rep dips stress your muscles in a completely different way, changing how your chest, triceps, and shoulders develop over time. So why does this happen? It comes down to how your muscles are being forced to work. When you train in low reps, your body prioritizes maximum force. You're using your strongest fibers, but only for short bursts. High-rep dips flip that completely. Now your muscles have to stay active for long periods of time, creating continuous tension as the set goes on and fatigue builds. Your body is forced to bring in more and more fibers just to keep going. So instead of just hitting the strongest fibers, you end up training almost everything at once. That's what gives that dense, filled-out look. But there's another piece most people miss. High-rep dips keep your chest and triceps under constant stretch and contraction with almost no breaks. That repeated deep stretch at the bottom is what builds a round, hanging chest instead of a flat one. And because dips are a closed chain movement, your shoulders, chest, and triceps are working together the entire time. That's why it doesn't just make you bigger, it changes how your physique actually looks. Now there is one massive secret to exploding your dip numbers that most people don't know. Your power-to-weight ratio. If you're carrying an extra 10 to 15 pounds of body fat, you're basically doing weighted dips every single set, which means you burn out long before you ever reach those high-rep growth ranges. That's why the leanest guys on the bars are always the ones cranking out 40, 50, even more reps. The leaner you are, the more efficient every rep becomes. Your endurance improves, fatigue builds slower, and suddenly your dip numbers start climbing much faster. Now let's get into how to actually train high-rep dips for maximum growth. The key to high-rep dips isn't chasing one all-out set. It's about accumulating a large amount of clean, controlled reps over time. Instead of thinking how many can I do in one go, think in terms of how many quality reps you can build across an entire workout. A simple place to start is choosing a number you can perform comfortably, somewhere well below your max. If your best set is around 20 reps, you might begin with sets of 10 to 12. You perform a set, rest properly, then repeat it again. Those smaller sets start to add up. That's where the real progress starts to happen. You gradually increase the total number of reps you perform in a workout. 50 becomes 60, then 70, all the way to 100. As that volume increases, something interesting happens. Your max set starts climbing almost automatically. You test your dips again, and suddenly 30 reps feels possible. At that point, your chest, shoulders, and triceps are spending far more time under tension than they ever would with short, heavy sets. One detail that makes a noticeable difference is how you control each rep. High-rep dips work best when you slow things down slightly. A steady descent into a deep stretch, followed by a controlled press back up, keeps constant tension on the muscles. When reps become rushed, the movement turns into something much less effective. And yes, during the first few weeks, your shoulders and triceps will feel like they're on fire. That's normal. High-rep dips put you through a deep stretch over and over again, and if you're not used to it, that bottom position feels brutal. But none of this matters if you don't follow the one rule that actually drives results. One mistake that destroys progress with high-rep dips is treating every workout like a competition. People hit one max set, completely exhaust themselves, then spend the rest of the session barely able to move. The problem is that approach creates a huge amount of fatigue without enough quality volume to actually drive consistent growth. High-rep training works best when you stay just slightly away from complete failure most of the time. You want your reps to stay clean and repeatable so your muscles are constantly producing tension instead of just surviving the set. That's a massive difference between beginners and advanced high-rep athletes. Beginners fight the movement. Advanced athletes settle into it. And over time, your body adapts to that long-duration tension. Your work capacity increases, recovery improves, and suddenly the amount of volume you can handle becomes much higher than when you first started. And that leads to the most important rule of all. If you want high-rep dips to actually change your physique, you can't treat them like random max-out sets. The only thing that really matters is consistent progression. Each session should feel controlled. You're trying to accumulate work your body can actually recover from and adapt to, because that repeated stress is what slowly builds that thicker, more filled-out upper body look. So every week, aim to add at least one rep or one set. That way you ensure you are progressing and challenging your muscles for faster results. And once adding reps starts to stall, that's when you increase the total volume. More sets, shorter rest times, or slowing down the tempo to keep the muscles under tension longer. And the leaner you stay, the more effective all of this becomes. Once body weight stops limiting you, every rep hits harder, and the movement starts shaping your chest and triceps in a much more noticeable way. The problem is, none of this works properly if your nutrition is all over the place. High-rep training only pays off when your body weight and recovery are under control. And if you want to maximize dips even more, here's a video on that.